Your uncle has gotten to you, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. After I leave here today, I'm gonna free Uncle Iroh from his prison, and I'm gonna beg for his forgiveness. He's the one who's been a real father to me.
Oh, that's just beautiful. Maybe he can pass down to you the ways of tea and failure.
But I've come to an even more important decision. I'm going to join the Avatar, and I'm going to help him defeat you.
Really?
How do we know when to forgive someone? Is it enough for them to say that they're sorry, or does it take something else for us to know that a person has earned their redemption? Look no further than redemption arcs in TV and movies for the answer. Redemption arcs are a common story trope. Take a morally reprehensible character and turn them into one of the good guys. But how do you make a villain someone the audience actually wants to root for? How do you make the audience want to forgive a character? It's the same way that a person earns forgiveness in real life. Actions speak louder than words. We've all heard the saying, the idea that it doesn't matter what you say, but rather the things you do that really matter. But it's not just a saying. It's the answer to the question of redemption in real life and TV and movies. In the book, Screen Stories, Emotion and the Ethics of Engagement, Carl Plantinga discusses narrative paradigm scenarios, stories that we collectively tell ourselves about how things typically go, adapted for the screen. Now, he covers revenge scenarios, but we're going to focus on redemption scenarios to see what they tell us about when someone deserves to be forgiven. Specifically, Nickelodeon's 2004 to 2007 animated hit, Avatar: The Last Airbender, which features one of the most acclaimed redemption arcs in TV history. Let's take a look at how Zuko's redemption arc, from hunting the show's hero to becoming one of the show's heroes, exemplifies when someone's earned forgiveness. Let's take a look at where Zuko starts in the beginning of the show. He's just been scarred and banished by his father, stripped of his throne and his honor, and it makes him act like a petulant child. He's hot-headed and flies off the handle at the drop of a hat. And most of all, he's hunting the world's only hope for ending a 100-year war, Aang, the Avatar. From the first episode, we understand that he's the bad guy. We don't want him to win. So how does he go from being the bad guy with a terrible ponytail to a good guy that people love to root for? It's all about action. When Zuko does his first selfless deed, his body rejects it like a pathogen. He literally almost dies because he did a good thing, and his body just doesn't get it. But then he wakes up different. He's more likable, more positive, and we like him better too because we see the actions he's taken selflessly. And then he stoops lower than ever before by helping his sister kill Aang, but don't worry, some magic water will bring him back by the next episode. And then, at the bottom of his redemption arc, Zuko returns to the Fire Nation as a war hero. He has his throne back, his honor, so why does it feel so wrong? It's because he's gone through a change, the flint that sparks every redemption arc, and now it's up to him to make that change real, put it out into the world. And the way to do that is through selfless action. Zuko's redemptive journey, once he knows he wants to be a good guy, is a series of altruistic actions. It puts him at risk, it puts him in danger, and it takes sacrifice. He loses the only people who really cared about him and the life that he thought he wanted for so long. When he leaves the Fire Nation to go find Aang and offer to help him win the war, he gives up everything except for the broadswords on his back. But these sacrifices aren't made for nothing. They're made on behalf of a world at war, which he knows he should be helping to repair. And from the moment he makes these sacrifices, the audience starts to see him in a new light. He's not a villain anymore, he's someone you're rooting for as he joins Team Avatar and fights alongside them, continuing to selflessly fight on the forces of good. And the selflessness aspect is really important to note because it means that his actions aren't done with any selfish goal at the end of being liked. He's doing what he's doing because he knows that he's done wrong in the past, and it's time to make amends. And so the audience starts to forgive Zuko because they saw him put in the work. His selfless actions are an external manifestation of internal change, and these actions speak so much louder than a verbal, "I'm sorry." It gets to the point where you forget you ever rooted against Zuko because he's earned your forgiveness as a viewer. So how does this concept make its way out into the real world? It's an issue of transfer and cultivation, another concept brought up by Plantinga in his book. The idea is that screen stories transfer their beliefs unto the viewers, persuading them in favor of the media's message. Then these beliefs cultivate into real-world skills or actions. When we see Zuko actually work to be better, instead of just saying that he's a good guy now, it transfers the idea to the audience that forgiveness comes when someone works towards it, not through words, but through action. Now, one might question the applicability of this transfer cultivation model by asking how these transferred beliefs from a cartoon could actually cultivate into real-world actions or skills, but the proof is right there in the pudding. As the viewer forgives Zuko over the course of his redemption arc, they're cultivating those skills to forgive someone based on the actions that they take to earn that forgiveness.
This war is finally over. I promised my uncle that I would restore the honor of the Fire Nation. And I will. The road ahead of us is challenging. 100 years of fighting has left the world scarred and divided. But with the Avatar's help, we can get it back on the right path and begin a new era of love and peace.
Listen to Zuko's monologue from the series finale, as he takes the throne of his nation as a new man, not on the wrong side of history, but helping to spearhead the effort to put the world back together. In the beginning of the show, Zuko talks only about restoring his own honor. Now he's talking about restoring the honor of his whole nation. He's a literally changed man, and the audience is right there with him, ready to see him be crowned as the Fire Lord because he's earned it. He earned the audience's forgiveness, and in turn, became a case study in how forgiveness should be earned in real life.